I realized that I am now in my 30th year in IT this year, which really sounds incredibly.
That's great.
Which makes me feel very old, though. But one thing that I've really been a big supporter of is certifications. From the beginning, back when I was even in Northwest Territories, I took some SAN certifications. When I moved to Alberta, I looked at what the base level I considered, and I don't want to say entry level is base level, but I mean the next step up, what those are for certifications. And to me, it was the CISSP and the SANS, GSAC, things of this nature. Now, I haven't done a lot of what I call the industry level big certs in a while, but I've been watching you over the last 3 or 4 years, and you're just nailing them off. And I was actually looking at a list of the top 10 certs, and you have 6 of them.
Okay.
You have your CISSP, which is pretty much if you want to get into security nowadays, and again, I don't mean that it's entry. I mean any, not entry level, but that main
give you
layer.
The baseline.
It's that baseline layer.
Exactly.
Because I do believe, and there's always these talks on LinkedIn, that you can't ask for an entry-level position having a CISP, which I agree with. So there's that. There is the CISA, ISACA, CISM, another ISACA certifications. There's a ISACA CRISC that you have. There's the Certified Ethical Hacker, which you have. And then what's the cloud certification you have?
The CCSP, which is also from the IC Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have 6 of what is considered the top 10 certifications out there now. So I do like to ask people what their take on certification is. Being that you have 6 of the top 10, I'm going to say you probably think certifications are valuable, but why did you pursue these certifications?
100%. So do I think it's kind of like important or valuable? Yes, I do, for many reasons. One is it's help you validate your skills and help you validate your knowledge.
Right.
So we are all in the industry probably having that imposter syndrome in terms of like, am I really well educated or kind of like have the necessary skills or knowledge in certain areas?
Right.
And certificates or credentials, they help you to validate that.
Right.
If you are doing it the right way. So if you are trying...
Okay, that's a key term there. So what do you define the right way?
So the right way is basically you don't just go and study for the practice exam or kind of like some questions and you say...
Like brain dumping.
Ready. Exactly.
Right,
no,
okay.
You need really to respect the certificates, respect the credential, and respect that many people spend a lot of time to build that certificates, build the thought process behind it.
Right.
And read the book, check other resources, learn from the perspective of different people, and then definitely you need to do the questions. The questions help you to understand different situations, help you understand different scenarios. And that's what I like about those certificates, is basically it doesn't give you a multiple choice of like a command line or whatever you need to kind of memorize, which today you can Google it, you can like use Gen AI to kind of
I was just going to say AI now. AI, you can ask AI to do a lot for you.
Exactly.
But what happens if everybody gets reliant on using AI and then they don't understand some of the fundamentals how you got there?
Exactly.
Okay.
But rather they really discuss situations. They discuss conflict of interest. They discuss what is the best action if you are trying to protect your environment or your data or sensitive information, regulations, all that stuff. So I found the certificates validate my knowledge, help me kind of like build confidence in the field, and sometimes even secure some jobs. Like some organizations or some industries, they still ask for credentials. They still ask for validation from you.
Right.
So that's really the idea behind it.
Yeah, I've whenever I look back at the certifications I've taken, I definitely see the CISSP as that baseline one that everybody wants. I personally have always, and maybe I'm biased because I took the SANS course where you actually had to take like the actual class and you had to take the labs and usually a challenge at the end. I found that those to me were more worthwhile because I had to demonstrate actually skill set.
Yes.
But that's a great base level, great base layer. And I always also say that, you know, while I do know people out there who try to brain dump stuff, things of that nature, I think you should be able to tell that through an interview process by just a very
right away.
Yeah, some very particular questions should point some of that out. And the people who pass these exams the right way, we'll talk about that right way. Not only do we understand that they have that base level, but I also know that they can take on a project, and if it's some of these certs might take 3 to 6 months to get, I know that they can budget time, they can study, they can get the right resources, they can ask for help. They have a process that I know they could take on a project, go from beginning to end.
In the whole thing.
They invest it, and that tells me a lot about individuals when they do, when they have these certifications.
Absolutely true. And speaking about SANS, for example, you are saying being in a classroom, or I definitely recommend that. If your budget permits, go for a boot camp, go for...
You can, yeah.
Because like the collaboration between you and your peers in the class is different. You can 100%. Ask about certain scenarios or situations they run into, because we are usually work with one industry, or maybe you shift to another industry, but it's really nice to see how other people think in different industries or different sectors. What type of regulations they need to handle or deal with, what type of risks to the environment.
Well, healthcare versus the financial, both could do security for them, but have different different approaches to it.
Exactly.
No, I think that's great. And I wanted to finish off with just saying that you've got 6 out of 10. Are you going to try to finish all 10?
I have plans,
awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I have plans to move on, definitely. I'm still going to focus on vendor neutral certifications rather than vendor specific, because I think it depends on your role, what's your career goals. In my case is basically, I like to kind of like work on the whole context, or understand the full context of technologies, the security controls, rather than focusing on or being a subject matter expert in certain technology.
Right.
Yeah.
No, sounds good. I can't wait to see what you're going to do next for the certifications. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.